This is like a serious learning curve, you guys. I just feel like my whole world is like thrown off. You guys, the last year we were here, there was like a stabbing.
Good, that's good. Just stop right there.
We're newbies all over. Okay, so you might remember a few videos back, we talked about how we were really starting to be concerned about the weight of the RV. And
I thought you were going to say my weight.
Some of you guys in the comments pointed out that we weren't accounting for the weight of the kids and the dog. But you guys were right. So we decided we would just get rid of the kids. So you can see here we are, we're taking off and there's no kids.
Big weight loss program.
So now we don't have to worry about being
no weight issues
overweight anymore because
just Evie and
we just
us.
decided we would get rid of the kids.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
I gotta do this first. I carry some gloves close by when I fill up because look at these pumps, they're nasty. We don't need depth today. No more product.
So Ben's outside filling us up. Yeah, I am so thankful that we have the open roads card. Quite a significant savings here at the TA. The funny thing is, just with all of the travels that we've done in Florida, this is not the first time we have filled up at this particular TA. So decided to go ahead and top it off. We weren't like super empty, but when we go back, I just know like that day is gonna be a little crunch for time. So one thing I've been learning lately is I solve for peace. Do it while we have time. So we wanted to stop somewhere that was on the open roads program. So here's the deal. If you're going to be traveling at all this summer, you guys need to get on the open roads program if you're not. We've literally saved hundreds of dollars over the years using our open roads card. It's free to use. They even will let you use a credit card now, which is a new thing. Lots of new things that they've got available that they used to not have. I will put a link in the description below. Also put a link here on screen. We just really like sharing resources. When we find something that works, that saves us money, that helps us out in RV life, we just want to be a resource for the RV community and share that with you guys. So definitely want to get signed up if you're not on that. We love ours. And we'll be back on the road here shortly with a full tank.
I wonder if he pulls it behind that RV. I bet you he does.
That is insane. Oh my gosh.
That is crazy.
I've never seen a boat that big. So we didn't really get rid of the kids, but this week the kids are at church camp. So we're enjoying some time together over on the Gulf side of Florida. Now to try to fit this 42-foot RV into our campsite. Y'all might need to send some help. All right, you guys. So literally after probably about 30 minutes of trying to get the RV in this site, Ben went to go ask if the campground's got another site we could try to fit in. Technically, it looks like we're fitting fine right now. The problem is on the other side where we have the 4 slides, that there's like an electrical pedestal and it's just too like tricky to try to like space it where the slides aren't gonna hit like the electrical or whatever. And because there's like this big concrete pad. Anyway, there's lots of things. Also the fact that we are newbies at this, you guys.
I'll get some music.
Oh no, some of those tortilla chips.
We got some leftover sausages.
Bring them.
This whole thing of like towing a fifth wheel, backing a fifth wheel, especially one that's as large as this one is. This is literally probably like our 3rd, 4th rodeo, okay? So if you guys got tips, leave them below. I know Ben would love that because we're still learning, but anyway, he went to go to the office and see if they'll move us on another bigger site because this just, anyway. Right now, it doesn't seem to be working very well. Or unless somebody wants to come put us in here. Like, there's a professional driver. We'll probably take that at this point. So anyway, we'll see if we move or not. All right, so Ben went down to the office. The other 2 sites, they told him, we went, we looked at it. I don't think it's literally like the lesser of 2 evils here. So we are gonna try to make this work. I think it's gonna work. This is like a serious learning curve, you guys. We're newbies all over. We're looking like the rookies. Some guy drove by in a golf cart and he's like, "You okay?" Like, we will be. I feel like, You know that scene in Austin Powers when then he's like stuck in the hall?
Yeah.
So, but
I need to go to a parking lot, I think, and get some
like
cones
set up some
do some-
cones and be like, pretend that this is your site and you have to try to get the RV in. Anyway, so we got it in and we're just getting her set up and leveled and everything. And so, man, I'm going to be ready for a small break after this. I feel like a hot mess.
All set up. Now that's a hardcore setup right there.
Well, good morning from Largo, Florida. It was kind of funny. We went to dinner last night and we were like watching YouTube videos and stuff of like how to back in a fifth wheel. So again, if y'all got tips, like leave them in the comments below because that would definitely help out.
Please help!
Anyway, it has been so weird in this RV without the kids. I have to say, like, I just feel like my whole world is like thrown off. But anyway, today we are going to go out to Honeymoon Island State Park. The original plan was to go out there and paddle, but the winds today look like that wouldn't be a fun time. And if you guys remember, like a year ago when we were here and we went paddling and it was windy, it turned into a disaster. Ben lost his Apple Watch. I lost my Stanley water bottle. Like, we got beat up by waves. It was just not a good time because of the winds. So when it's nice and calm, it's beautiful out here. But when it's a little bit windy, paddle boards are just not the thing. So we're gonna go out there, spend some time at the beach. My cousin who lives here in the Tampa area is gonna meet us out there so we can just have some good, fun, call them our Florida family time, and shelling. So stay tuned because every time we've been out there, they've had some really good shelling and I hope to find some fun things today. Trinity, who's not with us, has been doing all sorts of research on like the different types of shells and stuff. And so my plan is to bring a boatload back and then she can sort through them all and tell me what they all are because she's been up on that. And then I'm really excited too because my cousin just got an RV and so we're going to bring gifts. So our new RV Digest stick packs. So we're bringing, we come bearing gifts today. RV presents. So we'll take that out there. Then a little bit later, I want to show you guys too, so stay tuned because there's some things that we've got going on with this fifth wheel now where I feel like we're hitting a little bit of a groove when it comes to just like our whole campsite setup thing. We'll show you guys around this campground. Oh, too, yeah, something cool about this campground that I'll tell you about a little bit later. Just our whole setup because I think some of you guys are going to find that helpful is you're out there and you're getting set up at your campsites and stuff like that. So anyway, we gotta get going because we're supposed to be there in 30 minutes and yeah, we might be late. Got everything?
All right, got everything locked and loaded.
All right.
Got the beach stuff. All right, so you guys are probably wondering what happened with my eye. So when Charity says to do the dishes, she means do the dishes now, I found out.
The Gulf side of Florida has some great beaches, and today we're headed to enjoy some sand and sun. One thing we decided to do today is put the camera down for a bit. So here are a few photos instead. And needless to say, a day at the beach is always a good day. We're taking a walk around the campground tonight with the dog. And
Goodness, what do you smell? She smelled something.
that's what I was saying before the dog so rudely interrupted us. We have stayed here. This is our third year staying here. This is part of our 1,000 Trails, so we get to stay here for free. Like, we absolutely aren't paying anything for the nightly rate or whatever. A couple of things I will say about this campground. One, we love the location. It was like 30 minutes over to Honeymoon Island State Park. We did get the RV in the site, so that all worked out okay. How did they get that RV in there behind the tree?
I was just trying to think of Julie's.
That fifth wheel is literally parked right behind a tree. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, this particular campground, you guys, the last year we were here, there was like a stabbing. There's a lot of, I guess, I don't even know what you call them, like little mobile homes or something like that around here. Somebody once explained something to me about Florida laws and like you can only live 6 months out of the year. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. Maybe some of you guys have some insight and you can leave that in the comments below. There's a lot of like permanent residences. And then I think there's a lot of people that are maybe stationary in their RV that have been here for a very long time, because the RVs don't look like that they have moved much. Funny story about that. Yesterday we were setting up and I was kind of hearing this like tapping noise, and I'm like, what is this tapping noise? And then we realized that the guy in the RV next to us was literally playing the drums in his RV. It was one of those like electronic type drum sets, you know, where it has like the rubber pads. But the guy had a drum set set up in the living room of his RV. So obviously he's probably not traveling a ton. It's a nice campground. I mean, they have like a pool, but it's not your campground with like dozens and dozens of amenities. It's got the basics, right? We got our full hookups, has laundry, has shower houses, has those things. Does not have an actual dog park. Does have like a little basketball court, tennis court area thing. But some interesting characters. Let's just leave it at that. One thing they have here that I'm so appreciative, recycling. So can take out the trash and the recyclables. You guys know how I feel about recycling in campgrounds, man. Thankful that they have that here at this Thousand Trails Encore in Largo, Florida.
Charity found a friend. Oh, they're nice. That's a perfect, nice kid. You can't.
So now that we've had a chance to just be in the RV for, you know, like this is our second trip out, right? There's some things that I wanted to update you guys on, that when we first got this RV and we were talking about how it was equipped and everything like that, I just wasn't sure how things were going to work out. So one of the things is this washer dryer down here. So a couple of updates on the washer dryer. One, it does of course shake the RV. It shakes the RV less when we have the MORryde stabilizers up. So absolutely love those MORryde stabilizers from eTrailer. They help a ton with movement, and especially with this when it's like on the spin cycle or whatever. The other thing that I noticed with this washer dryer, so it's not the vented model. In our Class A, we had a vented model. So like when it would dry, one, that it would get really hot. And so I actually accidentally like melted I'd put a hat in there that had the plastic band in the back, and I'd melted that one time because it got so hot. The temperature doesn't get super hot with the clothing. I have noticed like this door here, if I have it open and the dryer's on the dry, it does tend to put like some of the heat and the humidity into like the air in the bedroom. So I try to keep this door closed if I have the washer dryer running. The other thing is, I've noticed because of how the system works when it's not vented, is that it has like a thing where it's like an absorption thing, and it's trying to take the moisture out and then like turn that into liquid and drain it off. So I've noticed that you need to get the clothes out right away. When I pull them out, they almost feel a smidge damp, but then it's like I set them out on the bed and then like almost immediately they feel dry. So it's kind of a weird phenomenon. I've not really noticed that before, but I will say so far it's working fine. It accomplishes the job fine. It's doing great. It's just a little bit of a different thing for me to get used to, and remembering that you have to get the clothes out pretty much as soon as it's done, because I do feel like that maybe the clothes start to smell just a smidge funky if like I leave them in there for the day and I forget and I don't get them out till later in the day. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys all an update on that. If you're looking at a ventless washer dryer unit, no complaints so far. It does seem to be working great. It's just a little bit of a learning curve on how you need to use it.
Where are we at? Charity.
Oh.
Where are we?
We're at Conjure Tarpon Springs Aquarium. So we've never been here. We don't know what to expect, but it sounded like something fun to do and check out and new. So we're gonna try something different.
Ooh, stingrays. They're coming up to you like they want something.
I know, yeah. They're like,
You want
hey,
food?
you got food?
Good food?
Sorry.
I don't got anything, buddy. I'm sorry.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're so cute. Can you touch them? You can touch them. Oh my gosh. Ah! Where's their mouth? Is their mouth in the front or the bottom? Their mouth is on the bottom, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly though. Scientists agree that they live at least 60 to 80 years. He's gonna give us some attention. Aw, look at him giving him a little hug.
The Tarpon Springs Aquarium and Animal Sanctuary is a family-owned attraction in Tarpon Springs, Florida that combines an aquarium with an animal sanctuary. The animals here are mostly rescues, and the Animal Sanctuary has a focus on education and rehabilitation. It was a great place to visit and be able to interact with many of the animals at the sanctuary.
You're too excited. Okay, let's try again. All right. Here we go. Wish me luck.
So one thing that I absolutely love about being able to kind of just have like this hybrid RV lifestyle where, you know, we really call ourselves like anytimers, right? So, you know, we do have a home base in Central Florida, and then we have our RV and we go really anytime that we want to go. But the one thing that I absolutely love is the fact that we have the same exact mattresses at the Glamper Hideaway as we do here in our RV. So we have RV mattresses from rvmattress.com, which is part of Brooklyn Bedding. I love that I'm sleeping on the same mattress. I'm getting the same sleep quality. The mattress that was in here when we bought it, absolutely not cutting it. So we upgraded all of the mattresses in this RV. So the mattress that's in Dakota's bunk room, Trinity's like bunk, what we did there is we put like a foam topper on it from rvmattress.com because it's kind of like the bunk size area for sleeping. But we absolutely love the sleep quality that we get with our mattresses from RV Mattress. They're really easy to get into an RV. So that's the other thing I love is they come rolled up in a box. So it's easy to get it like in the door of the RV and get it set up. They ship really fast and free from their factory in Arizona. And then the other thing is too, is they have 120-night sleep trial, and they now have a limited lifetime warranty. So we know that we're set with these mattresses, like literally for ever, really. We've partnered with them, so you guys can save 30% off with our code. All of that will be at the link in the description below. And a huge thanks to RV Mattress for their just support over the years. We absolutely love being able to partner with them. Okay, so I want to show you just a little bit kind of our whole setup at a campground now that we've got going on. One thing
that we have going on.
What?
Now that we have going on?
Yeah, now that we got going on.
That we currently have going on?
Yeah, that we currently have versus like our other Class A, right? Kind of our setup that we're using now, and I feel like it will evolve. So, you know, if y'all got, you know, suggestions or whatever, definitely leave those in the comments below. But one thing that we are using is this like tripod underneath of the hitch, just kind of for extra stability and to just prevent, you know, excess movement or things like that in the RV. Now, one thing that we have found that we really felt like with having a fifth wheel setup, or just probably really a towable setup versus our drivable setup, that there was a little bit more movement than what we had in our drivable setup. So extra things for stability, really, really like. I'm gonna show you another stability thing that is an amazing hack here in a few minutes, but wanted to kind of show you that tripod setup there. Absolutely love it. And you can get these on e-trailer too. So we'll put a link below for e-trailer because we love that for these types of accessories.
Since we have a close weight problem, instead of mounting on some stabilizers in the back, we decided to go with these lightweight.
Look at how compact that is.
Lightweight, cute aluminum ones that I can throw in my little bins.
Super compact. And then these are from Moride, but you can also get these through e-trailer.
These are the I-beam mount stabilizers. So you can put these on in the front, middle, back,
wherever you need the stability.
Wherever you need them. Okay, so this is a pretty simple setup. It comes with two of these little I-beams here, and this little part goes on the frame, and then this part adjusts in and out. There's a little clip, so it comes in and out, so you can basically put one on one side and one on the other side. So let's put this one on this side, and I'll show you how it clips in. Okay, so this one I'm just gonna set right down on this part of the frame, and then we'll drop it down, and then we put in the little clip wherever it fits best. So same process on each side. I like a little bit wider stance.
If you're a hitter with a wide stance, like you're doing the splits at the plate, it means one thing, that you're a skinny dude who's got no upper body strength.
Let me know what you think. I would think a little bit wider stance would be more stable than straight up and down, right? So you probably want to angle like that. Then the last step is getting the strap out. There's a little bar down here on each one of these that you connect the strap to, that we're gonna cinch it down tight so it creates a nice little triangle effect.
This was kind of our answer because our other RV had like electric stabilizers and we considered it, but then when we realized
those are heavy though,
Yes.
because you have the motors and the metal, and these are aluminum in a strap, so it's very lightweight. I'm actually thinking about getting a second one for the front as well, so might buy one of those for up there. These simple products, you don't have a motor that's going to go bad or anything. It does take getting under a little bit and throwing this on, but it's really not that bad to set it up.
10 minutes max.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
And then
So smart.
loosen the strap up a little bit, and then put the other end on this one. Pull out the slack first before you start tightening it. Then you just crank it down until you can't really crank anymore.
You can see the foot moving just a smidge there, and then
And now literally it's solid. You can't really, it won't budge. But now the stability of the RV has dramatically improved in the back where there's really no stabilizers at all. So this really solves a huge problem for a very reasonable price. You could make a wood setup, but wood is heavy. And this is a very lightweight, uncomplicated setup.
and wood could rot over time. I mean, the
Right.
whole
Well,
nine
yeah,
yards.
because you have your AC dripping water down right here. And so these aren't gonna rust because they're aluminum. I love how simple of a product it is and how big of an effect that it has when it comes to stabilizing your RV.
All right, so we've got the tripod in the front, then the stabilizers in the rear. Which you guys, like, that's about all we're doing these days, because here's the thing that I think we've learned over the years. What we want to try to do is we want to try to keep things as simple as possible, so that way when we have to go tear down for a travel day or whatever, kind of our new mantra in life, you know, as we get older and everything else is like, does it solve for peace? So we're trying to find these like little things that we can do, whether it's RV setup or, you know, whatever else, where the small things that make a big impact, but then it also just makes it easy, like when we are packing up for a travel day or things like that too. So,
All right, real quick before we leave, I'm going to install these Mopica Pro sensors. They're propane sensors, so it's kind of a unique product, but basically it connects via Bluetooth and allows you to check the propane levels on your smartphone. So you put this little sensor on the bottom of the propane tank, and I got these little tank halos that go on the bottom of the tank to leave room for the sensor, and then it magnets to the bottom of the tank. You put a little bit of like ultrasound gel on the bottom, and it's able to sense the amount of propane in the tank. How cool is that? With these two sensors on each tank, I'll be able to look right at my app and even get notifications on what the levels are at without having to come out and check it all the time. All right, so there you have it. It's super easy to install. We've got one tank that's at 54% and the other one's at 100%, and I can check it anytime on my phone from inside the RV. Definitely highly recommend it. Get one for yourself at gratefulglamper.com/Mopica. I have a gray tank flush hose specifically. I've got two of them of the 0Gs that I hooked together. Like,
can you, I think, clarify, you said gray tank flush. There's not a gray tank.
I'm sorry,
the gray hose.
black tank flush
Right.
hose. This is gray, so I can't mix it up ever, but I put this hose on, oh man, this leaf dropped. I thought it was a rabid squirrel. No, I'm just kidding. But then I hook it up on my three-way valve connector before the filter. So then right now I can turn it on, and it's not gonna send filtered water through there because it's before the filter. So this way I can, as you can see now, it's flushing all the poo and stuff out of there. And then occasionally what I'll do is, after I see it turn a little bit clear-ish, then I'll shut the body waste, let it, fill up for about a minute or so, and then I'll empty it again, let water out until I can see a small flow of water. I'll shut it again, let it fill up for a while. I'll repeat that process until really it turns clear.
You guys, I cannot stress how important this is.
Lots of water.
So many people don't flush their black tanks, they just dump them. And then they want to complain about like tank smells and things like that. If you don't have a black tank flush, because maybe you're in a camper that doesn't have that as an option. Well, that is where those Rhino clear elbow things, you can actually, they have two where you can hook a hose up to that. And then you can use that to fill your black tank up with water.
And the
to
nice thing
essentially
is
flush
it's got a one-way valve on it too, so nothing's going to be coming out.
One-way
It only
valve.
goes in.
Super important.
So water will spray up in there, and you can backfill it, and then it's got the gate valve on it, so you can open and close it. So the best part about that is it's clear right before the gate valve, so you can see if you're going to have any surprises at the end.
There
so
are
you
no
know what's
surprises
coming.
that way.
Well, that way, there's no surprises. You can see what's coming, but then you can know that there's some stuff in there. These valves don't always seal, so you do have some residual at the end. So that way you can at least know, okay, am I up against a challenge at this campground or not?
You at least know how to like appropriately handle things to avoid any poopsies.
One more thing I want to show them that I have.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the Camco, I mean, this cap is amazing because this has a handle on it. I also have a clear one for the back, but you have a nice handle to put it on. And it also has this little hose connector that if you're at a place where you can dump your gray, you could just open this up and then hook a hose up to it and then just let the gray out where permitted.
All of these fun little gadgets, and it's lightweight.
Now there's clear water coming through this elbow, and I know, okay, the tank has been completely cleaned. And then one last thing I wanted to mention about this particular Rhino, Camco Rhino brand part, is it has this bayonet fitting that really stays on no matter what. This is the strongest connection I've ever had. I've used the Valterra ones, some different brands. This one actually stays connected. Even if you move it, I mean, you could move it up and down and the bayonet connection stays, as you can see. The other ones don't do that. You move it and it comes off and stuff ends up coming out. This is good. Get one of these. Seriously, this is amazing. You have to have this for travel days, because then you lift it up when you're not using it on a travel day so it doesn't catch on to anything, and then you can actually bring it back down to make it a nice flow.
Because it goes downhill.
Yep. All right.
And then there's the hose
is the
connection.
hose
So if you
connection.
don't have a black tank flush,
Open it up and shoot it up into there.
get her clean.
One last little tip that I have is the night before a travel day or the morning of, I will close the liquid valve,
Gray.
or the gray. They call it liquid waste now. Then you could take a shower, run the washer and dryer in the morning, fill that liquid gray tank up a little bit. Then now, after I dump the body waste, the black tank, after I'm done with that, I can dump the liquid after the gray tank, and it will flush out that hose nice and clean-ish before I put it into the compartment.
Clean enough.
Yeah, clean enough. A lot cleaner than just running the black.
Right.
See, I've just pulled the liquid, and you can see right there all the clean water coming out and cleaning out the hose before I have to handle it. One little quick tip is for these gray tank hose and other connections, like after I set up at a campground, I just throw these up in here so that way they don't get wet and stuff, and then I just grab them out and need them. I gotta use them on a teardown day.
Anyway, that's a little bit of our setup that I wanted to show you guys. And then we'll see how it goes when we go to pull out later. About ready to pull out, but before we do, Ben has the tanks flushed, so there's one last step before that we call that part good, and that is this. So we want to make sure that we put a little bit of tank treatment in. So basically the way that you want to do your tank treatments, y'all, is you want to put this in, so like after you've dumped, put this in with some water, and then, you know, like throughout your next like tank cycle or whatever, this is going to continue to work for you. So then again, after you dump again, add one of these. So obviously our Grateful Glamper Digest It Ultra is our tank treatment of choice.
Watermelon smash!
So one thing, you guys, I saw this tip, I don't know, it might have been in a social media group. Just getting ready to put in the steps. I have the little whiskey broom thing that we got from IKEA, but check this out, you guys. So this is a magnetic hook right here. I have a magnetic hook, and then I can just throw that on there and have that to keep the steps clean. And it should, in theory, go right up into the door when I fold the steps up just fine. I'm gonna put her on the ball. Lined up. Good enough. Survey says.
Yeah. Oh darn.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah, we're going. All good.
Oh, we need to do the airbags.
Flashers are good. My main goal is I'm just gonna make sure you don't hit anything. Yeah, and the tires are cleared of the concrete pad now, so pulling out was easier than coming in. Just because of the angle of the truck too, you know, it was like a different angle. Now, do you want me to kind of like spot you as you go around the corners in the campground here?